Hey family, it's Maya here from Rooted Vines, and it is Metaphysical Monday. Look, you guys, I don't only teach about tea and herbs. I teach about reconnecting with yourself. So, since it is Metaphysical Monday, and this is my first time doing Metaphysical Monday, I'm just gonna kind of talk to you about a book that really changed my life. Just one of the books that really changed my life. It's a really short read, but every word in it is very powerful. And it's As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. As you can see, this book has been worn out, honey. I have underlined, highlighted. I've done all kinds of stuff in this book. Every time I read it, I get something new. It's words just flow and new things pop up depending on where I am in my life. And that's how it works with books, right? If you agree with me, if you've read a book and then you picked it up and read it again, let me know if you found like it spoke to you in a different way. I got this book all in my face. Spoke to you in a different way than it did when you first picked it up. So, when you open the book, As a Man Thinketh, I'm just going to read some of it here. The aphorism, As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, not only embraces the whole of a man's being, but is so comprehensive as to reach out to every condition and circumstance of his life. A man is literally, and when we say man, we're saying mankind, all humanity, okay? A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all thoughts. So I'm going to stop right there. That's the first paragraph of the book. Um, and so I wanted to talk about this because a week ago, I'm always dealing with self, right? Myself, because I'm always trying to elevate. I'm always trying to make sure I'm doing that which I'm supposed to be doing and trying to complete my assignment here on earth, that my life that I'm living is not in vain, right? So I was thinking about how blessed I have been because I have been in some really dark spaces. I don't know if you have seen any of my videos where I talk about how I was suicidal and homicidal for 7 years, but I have been in some dark spaces, okay? And as I look back and as I came out of that and God brought me out, because that's the only way I survived this thing, because I was punching the ticket and getting out of this realm, okay? It was just too things get heavy, too heavy, and no one can come in and save you but yourself. And when I had the encounter with the spirit, that's exactly what happened. I had to face me. Because let me tell you something. A lot of people think that you got enemies out here. A lot of people think that it's always somebody else's fault. We are taught to look outside of ourselves for answers, to blame, for excuses, whatever it is. We're looking outside of ourselves. Let me tell you, that's a lie. When the Spirit made me deal with me, right? When I had to face me, I found out I am my biggest enemy. Biggest enemy. I am my biggest thief. I am my biggest, whatever it is me. All of it is me. It's not someone else, right? It is me. And I had to deal with that, right? And I realized because the Spirit said, when this realm is over, when you have to stand before me, I don't care about your best friend and what they did. I'm not asking about your spouse. I don't care about your children. It is a relationship between me and you. What did you do? And so I had to really sit in that. I had to sit in that and I had to start to make a change. I had to change and sacrifice a lot of things in my life to become the person I am now. All of this, plant lady, all of the herbs, the teas, honey, if you knew me a couple of years ago, if you felt my energy, there's no way you would believe I would be here because I still don't believe that I'm here, that my life has changed so dramatically. But that's what happens when you deal with self. And a lot of people are running away from themselves. You're running away because you don't want to face what's inside. And let me tell you something, a lot of things that are inside you, it's not your fault. It's not to say that you are the blame. Is to say, just recognize what has happened. Look at what the decisions you made. Even if you had to choose between evil and evil. You still have to face the decision so that you can learn some lessons to help you move forward. You cannot learn if you're running from the lesson, if you're dipping and dodging because you think it is your fault. This is not about blame. This is understanding your path and understanding the right choices for you and what you have to do to get back and make those crooked roads straight, honey. Okay? That's all this is about. It's not about blaming you or making you feel bad for choices. Honey, you do what you do the best you can with the knowledge you have at the time. But as you are being told, as you come across people who speak into your life, as you pray, as you meditate, if them things are hitting you, it's time to make some changes, because if not, you're going to have to pay the consequences, and the consequences are not pretty. And I ended up being in a realm where I had to pay some consequences, and it wasn't pretty. Okay. I had some karma come and see me, even in my healing, because I still had to pay back what I did. Understand what I'm saying? I still, even after being healed, I still had to pay back what I did. Okay. And this is not like physical. This is in the spiritual realm. Understand that. This is serious. So when we talk about let's see, it says a man is literally what he thinks. We need to stop and analyze our thoughts every day. What are you dwelling on? What are you thinking about? And why are you thinking about that thing? What do you think about it? Why are you thinking about it? And why is it bothering you? Right? A lot of people are dying from stress. They're getting sick from stress because let me tell you, as in this book, it talks about the different ways illnesses manifest themselves in your body depending on what you're feeling, right? Jealousy is going to present in a certain way, right? Envy is going to present in a certain way. So we have to deal with ourselves in that, in asking the questions, just getting started. Like, when you get irritated with something, it's not, or somebody, it's not about them. You got to stop and say, well, why is this irritating me? Is there some truth to it? What's going on? Am I just in a bad mood? Do I really need to respond? If I responded, is it going to make a difference in my life? Can I walk away? And let me tell you, the strength in walking away, the strength in blocking, the strength in, saying, I ain't finna deal with this and finding another avenue to cut someone off is like a gangster move. And I have perfected that, honey. I have perfected that. So if you've ever had to cut someone off, drop it in the comments. And how did you feel when you cut them off? Especially someone who is not pouring into you. Did your spirit feel light? Because sometimes we get around people and you can feel your spirit being drained, and yet you still deal with them. The conversations on the phone, when you're around them, the things you do, it just don't feel good. And yet you play the game because you think, oh, I got to be a good person. I got to be a good friend. Your spirit is not feeling good because it's trying to tell you something. And we are really good at ignoring our first mind. The elders used to say, doggone it, I should have listened to my first mind. What's your first mind? That's your gut, your stomach. You feel it. The discernment, the intuition is hitting you hard. But you go with this right here. You think this has the answer, but it is your spirit inside of you that is saying, hey, this is not any good for you. That's why you get butterflies. That's why you get an upset stomach, right? Because it hits you in the gut first. Something just ain't right. But we turn away from that which God has given us, the alarm system. What Beyonce say, ring the alarm. Yes, ring the alarm, y'all. You got to pay attention to your body, to your spirit, to your mind. It is talking to you. And everybody ain't for everybody. Okay? That's just, let's be real. That everybody ain't for everybody. So, as we think about this, we want to make sure that we are guarding our thoughts, that we're thinking about the good things, even when things are going bad, even when it looks like the sun is not going to rise, even though you don't know how you're going to pay that bill, right? Even though you know that eviction notice may be coming, your job is to stay on the positive. And is it easy? Hell to the no. It ain't easy. You got to work that thing. You got to understand that you have been in tighter positions. It has looked much darker and bleaker. And yet God has made a way. And those are the things that you have to think on. We can no longer be out here playing games in this realm. If you don't understand there's a spiritual warfare going on, honey, I don't know. You better ask somebody. And it is your job to go put on your armor. It is your job to get your tools ready. It is your job to be ready for battle. You cannot expect anybody to come save you. It is you and the Most High on the battlefield. And you're going to have to play this out. This is a serious matter. You can't wait on the government. Look, my husband works for the government. He ain't getting no check. I'm a full-time student. I'm not working. I'm trying to work this business that I don't know if it's even going to, I'm that's where we're at, okay? But yet and still, I know I've been in worse places. I ain't even supposed to be here. My ticket was punched a long time ago. I ain't even supposed to be here on this earth. So I'm going to move forward, right? I've seen darker days, honey. I know what it feels like to be totally alone. When God takes the crutch from you, when you ain't got no family or friends or anybody to lean on because your mind is gone. I've been in dark days. Your job is to make sure that you pull back on the resume that God has, to understand that God is still in control. Ain't no man on this earth got the power of what the Most High has. And we have to understand that and walk in that. So when we think, you can tell what people are thinking by the way they move in life, what they're thinking, because when you think it, you act on it. Sooner or later, the action is going to come out. That's why people can't stay in relationships for a long time, because they play the game. They put on the mask. Every morning they put on the mask. But that mask can only mask you so long because your thoughts are rotten. And they will come to the forefront. And you will be revealed. They say whatever's done in the dark will come into the light, baby. It's coming. So clean it up yourself before God has to come and expose you before everybody else. Because, honey, that don't look good. It don't feel good. It don't look good. Y'all might think I'm yelling. I'm not yelling, but I talk like this because my family loud. We loud, but I'm passionate. I'm sorry. I'm passionate about what I'm talking about, right? So as I think back to the person that I was, because what happened was I was just living life. I was just going through life. I really did not have a direction. I really didn't have a goal. I was married. I had my kids. I did my thing. But I was called for something greater. You are called for something greater. And if you don't pay attention, sometimes God will pull your coattail. And God got me. And I asked when I was healed, why did you get me the way you did? And I got the answer of that you're loyal. Whatever you do and whoever you're with, you're loyal. And I had to shake you down to your foundation to wake you up. Now, I hope none of y'all have to get shaken to your foundation. Because let me tell you, me being shaken, it wasn't just me. My children were hitched to me. So my children had to go through because of decisions that I made, even though it looked good. Because my trauma, what happened to me came through the church. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? You think you're making the right decision. But what God told me was, I never called you to the church, baby girl. I ain't called you to the women's meeting, the choir, the usher boy. I ain't called you to none of that. I called you to me. But we get caught up in what man is asking. And that man could be your boss, your preacher, the president, the congressman, the senator, the firefighter, the paramedic, whoever, the doctor. But when God is speaking, we need to pay attention. But we pay attention to the wrong things. We get distracted and we forget to listen to God's voice. We forget to meditate. So I went through this world just doing my thing, not understanding that I had a calling on my life. And God had to come wake me up and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. And then I got the nerve to get mad at God. 7 years, me and God battled it out. Let me tell you, it was not a pretty thing. But he won in the end. And I'm sitting here today telling you this because I know that there are people hurting right now. I know that there are people lost. I know there are people thinking about checking out right now. We just had that football player, 24 years old. And I don't know why God picks certain people to come in and reveal the spirit to. I don't know. I'm so happy that I got that, because I wouldn't be here. I would be just like that 24-year-old. And I want you to know that even though you can't see over the mountain, even though it feels like it's low and deep and dark in that valley, baby, God is there. Keep moving. Keep moving. And I know it's hard. I used to get depressed. And what I did when I talk about dealing with self, and I was healed, and I would still go through these cycles of depression. I would write down when I felt depressed. I write it down. And then I'd write how I felt down. And I had a little journal. And then I would count the days until I got out of depression. And what I found out is that I was going through these cycles. It was like every other month at a certain time in the month, during that time, that I would go through these cycles. And then I said, well, how am I going to deal with this? Because I always feel bad. Right. And people always talk about snap out of it. Depression is something that you don't snap out of. I really believe it's a spirit that just comes and sits on you. Right. Because you're doing well, and all of a sudden this thing just lands on you and you can't get it off you. But when it leaves, you feel so much lighter. And I said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I'm depressed. And what I did was I tell my husband, look, I think I'm going through a depression cycle. I'm probably going to check out a little bit. There were days that I would stay in the bed and I say, you know what? I can't get up and I can't get in the shower. It's okay. Go on and lay there. Relax your mind and your body. Go on and lay there and talk to God. Wake up the next morning. You know what? I just can't. I can't move. It's okay. Give yourself permission. It's okay. Go on and lay there. But let your spouse know, let your family know, because what the devil does is try to have you keep secrets. But once you expose it and people know what's going on, it's going to be what it's going to be. And then I would tell myself, okay, third day, at least make it to the shower, baby girl. At least get up and get in the shower. All right, we get in the shower, we do our thing. I'm headed right back to bed. It's okay. I got up and I moved. And what I was doing is consciously making small actions to get me out of the cycle faster. And now I got it. It took a minute, but I had to work within myself. Look, when it says that a man literally is what he thinks, when it talks about what's going through your mindset, you have to be willing to move through that thing, because whatever is going on, it is manifesting itself. And we just can't continue to let something take over our bodies and over our minds and control our thoughts and our feelings. And people are going to say things. They always going to say things. But God got something to say too. And I think God trumps all things. I think God trumps all things, okay? All words, all whatever's going on. So I want you to be mindful about how you move through this realm. Know that you're not alone. And for you that don't understand, you ain't never been through, praise God, I'm glad for you. But what I want you to do is I want you, when you're out in the street, I want you to smile at someone, because that smile could save a life. I want you to say good morning, good evening, good night. I want you to call a friend you ain't talked to in a long time and say, hey, baby, I was thinking about you. How you doing? I want us to be able to service each other, because people are literally hurting out here. And everybody got something to say after they're gone. Everybody trying to figure out what happened. Be and make a difference today, right? Make sure that you are dealing with yourself, but you also understand that there are other things at play out here. And be and rise above the foolishness. Do not participate in those things that are degrading, that are disgusting, that are literally not pouring life into you, but pouring death into you. Do you hear me? I talk about tea. I talk about all that, where people, things, people, whatever, they pour into you. But what are they pouring into you? Is it gasoline? Is it turpentine? What are they pouring into your life? Because you're not going to have an overflow, and you're not going to feel good. Everything's going to start feeling like it's closing in on you, because they're feeding you junk. things that are not good for you, and you are openly accepting it. You are putting your cup under the faucet saying, yes, more, please. Can I have some more, sir? What is that, Oliver Twist? Can I have some more? You're constantly asking for that. And then you stop and say, well, why isn't my life going right? Why can't I have? Why can't I do? Because you're not asking for that. You're not walking in the path that you want. What you dream of, you want people to hand to you. You don't want to do the work. Let me tell you, you have to do the work because you have to learn the lessons. And if you're unwilling to learn the lessons, God will come to your door and hand them lessons like a buffet table, like he did to me. And then say, figured it out, baby. Because I've been trying to talk to you nicely. I've been trying to tell you to leave that man alone. I've been trying to tell you to go on about your business. I've been trying to tell you only be in this lane. But there you are. And so here I am. Well, look, I ain't trying to keep y'all on here long. Look, it's Metaphysical Monday. I just want you to begin to think about you. Look at your life. Are you happy where you're at, baby? Are you happy? Are things going well for you? Now, things ain't always going to be perfect. You're going to have your ups and downs because there's many lessons to learn in this thing. But where are you? Is your life consistently problems and issues? If so, it's start to look at yourself. Forget about what everybody else is doing. It's time to close the doors and draw down the shades. It's time to sit with yourself and find out what's going on with you. Make your favorite cup of tea, sit down with your journal, meditate, steep, which means just talk to God, just sit there, whether it's at night, find you an hour, find out what you're supposed to be doing, what your calling is, what your purpose. People are always lost, but they're unwilling to go inside and they're unwilling to talk to God about it. You got people sitting in the pews 30, 40, 50 years praying about the same thing, but refusing to move their feet. Faith without works is dead, baby. Do you understand? Faith without works is dead. You have to do the work. God has put everything you need inside you. Do the doggone work. Stop waiting for someone else. Sitting over there like the man on the doggone pool. Do you want to be healed? Instead of saying that's a yes or no question. Ain't nobody ask you how you feeling today. Ain't nobody ask you why John didn't roll you on in. You've been laying near the pool. You couldn't rock yourself over in the pool. You couldn't make an effort. And then I come along and I ask you, do you want to be healed? And you want to tell me, well, everybody been coming around here 5, 6, 7 years. They just walk over me. You know why they walk over you? Because you ain't willing to help yourself. Somebody finally comes to help you and asks, do you want to be healed? And your behind got every excuse telling stories from way back when. And all we need is a yes or a no. We don't need the rest of the story. And that's what's the problem with a lot of people. You want to tell a story that don't need to be told anymore. And you're not telling it like a testimony. You're telling it like, woe is me. Don't be like the man at the doggone, at the pool, the healing pool. Make your yes mean yes and your no mean no. Nobody want to hear the story over and over and over. We done seen you, like you said. They've been trampling over you and running up for years. They know who you are, but they see that you do not care. I can't care more about you if you don't care about you. I can't help you if you're unwilling to help yourself. We have to be honest with this thing. We have to understand that it is about your growth. You can't expect no more than what you're willing to put in. I can't invest in you if you're not investing in yourself. Because that's a waste of my resources. It could go to someone else who's really trying. It's a waste of my time. Matter of fact, it's a waste of your time. You're playing on people's heartstrings. So as I bring this to a close, because I should have brought it to a close, I just want to say that I pray that y'all all are doing well. I know the mental state of the world is down. I pray every day for everybody who is going through things because I know it's serious. It is dead serious out here. But no matter how serious it gets, you still have to deal with you. You still have to get your house in order. And in order to do that, every journey, I don't care what journey you begin with, where you want to go, you better start inside yourself, because you don't want to have to come up against something and it puts a mirror to your face and you fall out because you can't believe that's you. Let's be real about who we really are and change those aspects of self that does not contribute, that does not bring value to us in our lives. Don't look at your spouse and say they got to do, yeah, got to. No, when you start fixing you, you'll see things to start fixing themselves. Deal with you. When you deal with you, things start to move and shift. The atmosphere changes. So, y'all, I didn't have my tea tonight because we had to do our garage. We've been working on this garage since my husband got time. And I'm trying to fry some fish. He went to the store, so this is the only time I had to, without him bothering me, to do this video. So all I have is water. I haven't had my tea this morning. What did I have this morning? Chamomile, lavender, and Damiana tea mixed together. I'll be on that Damiana. I told you I gotta do a video about that. But so yeah, you guys, I want you to have a wonderful Monday. Metaphysical Motivational Monday. I'm going to try and do another one next week. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. I hope you learned something. I'm not yelling at yourself, at you. I get passionate because when I do these type of videos, I'm not really talking to you. I'm talking to me. I'm reminding me. All right. I'm teaching me. My future self needs to hear this over and over again. Somebody out there needs to hear this. You already know it, but you need to hear it again from a different source. Maybe you need to hear it from a loud source. Someone who is passionate, because I want you to live your best life. And your best life comes from that which is within. You have to activate yourself. Yeshua said the kingdom is within you. It is not outside of you. It is in you. All you need is in you. Just like the tea bags what I have, whatever benefits, it's in that bag. Here, the bag is in you. Activate your bag. Steep with God. Be honest with yourself. Correct your thoughts. And then get rid of anything that does not align with the life that you desire. It's not going to be easy because a lot of y'all going to have to cut off family. But I'm the best cut off family person there is. And let me tell you something. When you do what you need to do, you'll find peace and joy that you never knew you could have. Anyways, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful Monday. Stay rooted, stay you, and stay true. I'll talk to y'all later, y'all. Okay? Bye.